Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 7th of July 2026 and the price of Bitcoin in the global cryptocurrency market Satoshi has marginally pumped up and looks like there's positive sentiment in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now look Satoshi, right now there's World Cup going on as well, and am I right in saying the numbers are looking pretty good and that does have a positive impact on the US economy, which indirectly also impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to a certain extent?
Yes, George. The World Cup is definitely drawing a massive crowd, and those viewership numbers are looking impressive. We're also seeing some positive economic indicators and some fascinating developments in the crypto space today that should make for an interesting conversation.
We definitely will, and we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover in today's episode. Now the first thing Satoshi we're going to be talking about is regarding Trump accounts, and for our listeners guys, President Donald Trump did actually go live via YouTube, and this was with the official White House YouTube channel, and in that session guys, he went ahead and explained what Trump accounts is, but what we'll go ahead and talk about is, one of the journalists did actually ask President Donald Trump if he's open to adding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and the answer to that is yes, and I'm pretty much sure because of that, there's some positive momentum flowing into the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now what we'll do Satoshi later on in today's episode, we'll go ahead and discuss what the Trump account is, and let's say Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are added onto it, how can they do that, and more importantly the impact it'll have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The next news Satoshi we're going to be talking about is regarding Financial Conduct Authority, and they have released an interesting report, and this report guys talks about artificial intelligence and tokenized money. Really interesting development, and I'd really urge you guys to go ahead and read through the entire report, but in today's episode we'll go ahead and give a snapshot of what this report is. Now the third news Satoshi we're going to be talking about is a really interesting news, and this is connected to one of the Bitcoin mining company called as TeraWulf, and they have signed an agreement with Anthropic Satoshi, and this particular agreement is a $19 billion worth of lease, so this news definitely has a lot of momentum building into it. And the final news Satoshi we're going to be talking about is all the way from Russia, and Russia's oldest bank, that is Sberbank guys. They are launching crypto wallet along with digital depository, so look Satoshi, all of these news are definitely good indication, and who's to say we might be getting some signs that we're heading in the right direction, and I'm talking about possibly hinting towards a bullish market, so overall Satoshi, things are definitely getting better at a macro level, isn't it?
George, you covered quite a bit there, from Trump's discussion on Bitcoin to promising news about Russia's banking developments, suggesting a potentially bullish market. I think those developments could really boost confidence.
Definitely will, and it's going to be really interesting to see guys what happens over the next few days. So looks like Satoshi we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover in today's episode, and like we do in every Blockchain DXB podcast, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news Satoshi is a massive news, and this is connected to G42 and Microsoft, and here's the thing guys, they are deepening the partnership, and this is to keep sensitive AI data inside the United Arab Emirates, and they're training quite a lot of government staff as well, so we have quite a lot of interesting things to talk about in today's episode. Now the second news guys is all the way from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and a company called as Magna AI, which I believe I'm talking about it for the second time in just a matter of 2 weeks. They have established a strategic framework to advance artificial intelligence, and they are doing this alongside Saudi Xerox. So in today's episode, Satoshi will definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into what this news is all about. So looks like Satoshi, we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, isn't it, in today's episode? But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor, that is Amana, and they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look guys, whether you're looking into invest in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mega giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what guys? They have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the Blockchain DXB listeners guys, if you want to go ahead and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, choose your preferred asset category, and let Amana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable, and here's the thing guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Amana for this, cause they offer 24/6 human customer service, as well as the personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the Blockchain DXB listener and community guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Amana using the code Blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part guys, once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Amana for you. So what are you waiting for guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code BlockchainDXB. And Amana guys is all markets one app. Next guys, I'm happy to announce that Blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Cause for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right guys, palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrency is all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock guys is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you Blockchain DXB listeners guys, we have something really interesting for you, cause you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen guys, the code is DXB25, and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount. And the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025 as well as ETH Women. And look guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life, so don't just read about it, be there and head to the website that is futuristconference.com and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing, if you do want to support this channel, go to the website that is www.amt.tv and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech, It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gulf Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's quickly run to the global cryptocurrency market. Now look guys, despite the prices picking up pace, it is important to know that the price of Bitcoin is still half of what it was in October of 2025. It is around the $63,000 mark. And if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, right now it is at $2.27 trillion. And if you look at the cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is at $81.40 billion. But here's the thing guys, the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges isn't looking that great. It is only at $4.34 billion. And the total value locked is down to $73.44 billion. And regarding the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges Satoshi, the total fees connected is only at $55.56 million. And one matrix guys which I personally keep an eye on is the decentralized to centralized exchange ratio dominance. And unfortunately it is only at 17.71%. Now why don't you tell our listener Satoshi, as an industry, what is it that we can do in order to go ahead and increase or motivate people to use a lot of decentralized exchanges, because this particular dominance of only 17.71% is absolutely horrendous and bad, isn't it?
To boost participation on decentralized exchanges, the industry could focus on improving user interfaces to make them simpler, reducing gas fees, enhancing educational resources, adding more liquidity provider incentives, and broadening trading pair options. Better marketing for security and control benefits could also help. These changes might encourage more people to explore them.
Now here's the thing Satoshi, unfortunately since the last 24 hours, I'm unable to find out what the crypto-related ETF inflows and outflows is. So can you do one thing? Can you tell our listeners what is the crypto ETF inflows and outflows since the last 24 hours? I believe the last trading day was on the 6th of July 2026, isn't it? Can you find out what the ETF inflows and outflows is for the last 24 hours?
All right, George. It looks like there wasn't much happening with the Bitcoin or Ethereum spot ETFs in the last 24 hours. The U.S. markets were closed over the weekend, so the latest data is from July 2nd, showing some small positive flows for Bitcoin and mixed results for Ethereum. Nothing major to report.
Well, that particular information does seem right, because via DeFiLarma.com the information is not updated. But here's the thing guys, ETF inflows and outflows They do give us a very strong assessment as to which direction the price of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are heading towards. Now why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you read out the matrix for decentralized exchange? And what I want you to do is, I want you to read out the matrix for the top 5 platforms.
Sure thing, George. The top platform was Uniswap with 812.6 million in volume, followed by Pump with 725.33 million, Aerodrome with 408.71 million, Orca with 217.72 million, and PancakeSwap with 161.91 million.
Well, thank you so much for that. And here's the thing, guys, the volume of the cryptocurrency world is the volume of stable coins. And in the episode that we talked about yesterday, we talked about Revolut, where they've decided to delist Tether USDT. And this is because Tether USDT has decided not to be compliant because of MiCA regulations. But that thing being said, guys, Tether USDT is still leading the front so far as the volume of stablecoins is concerned, and the 24-hour volume since yesterday is $74.61 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd with $10.57 billion, and at number 3rd is FDUSD with a 24-hour volume of $348.11 million. Now what I want you to do next, Satoshi, is I want you to read out the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance of Bitcoin, and tell our listeners what is the matrix for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB Coin as well, please.
Okay, George. For Bitcoin, the market cap is $1.27 billion with a 24-hour volume of $36.78 billion and dominance at 56.30%. As for Ethereum, the market cap is $216.41 billion with a 24-hour volume of $16.39 billion and dominance at 9.53%. Lastly, Binance has a market cap of $78.72 billion, a 24-hour volume of $1.44 billion, and dominance at 2.87%.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. And here's the thing, guys, in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we tend to look at one new matrix every day. Yesterday, we looked at top made in US coins. In today's episode, Satoshi, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you tell our listeners what is going on all the way from China and tell our listeners the top 5 Chinese coins?
The top made-in-China coins have a market cap of $121 billion today, showing a slight decrease in the last 24 hours. Leading the pack, our Binance BNB market cap is $78.72 billion. Tron is $31.15 billion. Aster is $1.70 billion. OKB is $1.67 billion. And USDD is $1.45 billion.
Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. So why don't you do one thing? Why don't you tell our listeners what is going on in the world of Bitcoin? What is the price of it? What is going on since the last 24 hours and 7 days? And do the same thing for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB Coin for our listeners, please.
Certainly, George. Bitcoin's price is currently $63,743, which is up 1.64% in the last 24 hours and over 5% in the last week. Ethereum is holding at $1,792, seeing similar growth, but a significant jump of over 10% for the week. And Binance BNB is at $584, mostly flat for the day, but still up around 4% weekly.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. And here's the thing, guys. If you look at the Fear and Greed Index, right now it is still at fear, but since the last 24 hours, the numbers have marginally improved, and right now it is at 29. And who's to say, Satoshi, if we do get any positive news, maybe at a geopolitical level regarding Iran and US conflict, maybe we might be heading towards a bullish market, or maybe if there's any breaking news in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, things will definitely head towards a positive momentum, and one of the news guys could actually start the bullish market, and who better to do that than President Donald Trump? Cause look, President Donald Trump, along with making United States of America great again, now looks like he wants to go ahead and make Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies great again, and he's doing that with Trump accounts. Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, regarding Trump accounts, they did actually go live on the 4th of July?
You're right, George. Positive news like reduced conflicts or encouraging policies could definitely swing the market towards a bullish trend. The Fear and Greed Index nudging up to 29 also points to a slight optimism. And yes, the Trump accounts went live on July 4th, as you mentioned.
And regarding the Trump account, guys, it is important to note that Trump accounts are tax-advantaged investment accounts for eligible US children, allowing families to save and invest to a dedicated app with a $1,000 government contribution for qualifying children. Now, what I'd really urge you guys to do is go to the official White House YouTube channel and listen to President Donald Trump, along with Senate members such as Ted Cruz, Scott Bessent, who is the US Treasury Secretary, along with Michael Dell as well as many other beneficiaries talking about the benefits of Trump accounts. And during that session, guys, one of the journalists did actually ask President Donald Trump if he would be open to accepting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as part of Trump accounts. And President Donald Trump, guys, did actually say that Bitcoin could eventually be included in the new Trump account savings program. And he also said that he was not a fan of Bitcoin initially, neither was he a fan of cryptocurrencies, but later on he tried to understand what the technology is, and more importantly, look, in United States of America, there are close to 100 million people involved in cryptocurrencies, isn't it? So rather than being a detractor of it, now he's actually embraced it. And here's the thing, guys, he also said that the United States of America must be leading in the digital asset world. And at the same time, he also said that America cannot be afforded to be left behind, particularly behind countries like China. Now, regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, Satoshi, it is important to know that no timeline was given, but news such as this definitely puts a positive momentum in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it?
That's right, George. Trump accounts aim to help American children build wealth with a government contribution for eligible children, potentially featuring Bitcoin in the new program. It's interesting how his perspective has shifted on that, now emphasizing the U.S. needing to lead in digital assets, especially to keep up with countries like China.
Definitely correct, Satoshi. Now what we'll do is, we'll go ahead and tell our listeners how could Bitcoin be added to Trump accounts, and then why don't we go ahead and discuss, Satoshi, what impact it will have on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and finally let's go ahead and discuss what impact could this have on Trump accounts. Now regarding adding Bitcoin to Trump accounts, Satoshi, am I right in saying that Bitcoin can be introduced as an optional investment allocation, allowing parents to choose whether part of their children's portfolio is invested into Bitcoin alongside traditional index funds or other approved investment rather than making it a default option? And let me know what is your thought regarding this. The government or treasury could approve regulated spot Bitcoin ETFs as eligible investment with Trump accounts, giving families Bitcoin exposure through a familiar regulated financial product without directly holding the cryptocurrencies. And regarding employers, Satoshi, employers and private contributors could also choose to allocate contributions into Bitcoin, giving families greater flexibility to build long-term savings while at the same time benefiting from Bitcoin's potential appreciation over the 18 years investment horizon. So would I be right in saying, Satoshi, this is one way how Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies could be added into Trump accounts?
Yes, you're right. Incorporating Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies could give families more flexibility and the potential for growth over that 18-year timeline, as you pointed out. That does match what's being discussed.
Now what about the negative aspects of it, Satoshi? Because the price of Bitcoin is so volatile, what do you envision could go wrong, and what are the negative aspects of it as well?
Well, the main drawback is that volatility you mentioned. If Bitcoin's price drops significantly, families might lose value in their long-term savings. Also, the regulatory environment could change, affecting how these accounts can operate or how they're taxed. And there's always the risk of technical issues or security concerns with digital assets. Those are all things to consider.
Regulatory aspects are definitely a big hurdle, isn't it? Particularly if Democrats take over. They are massive detractors of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, even freedom as well, isn't it? Now let's go ahead and discuss, Satoshi. Let's say if this turns into fruition, what kind of an impact do you think it'll have on Bitcoin? Now look, Satoshi, adding Bitcoin to Trump accounts, or even cryptocurrencies for that matter, could significantly accelerate mainstream adoption, isn't it? As millions of American families would gain exposure to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and they'll be able to do that through a government-backed savings program, thereby making it more widely acceptable as a long-term investment asset. And the program, Satoshi, could create steady, long-term buying pressure on Bitcoin, particularly if regular monthly contributions or employer deposits are invested into Bitcoin, which is spread across many years, thereby helping reduce available supply over time. And here's the thing, Satoshi, government recognition of Bitcoin with the National Savings Program, according to me, could strengthen investor confidence, thereby encouraging more financial institutions, maybe even pension funds, and even corporations to consider Bitcoin as a long-term investment portfolio, isn't it? And am I right in saying, Satoshi, if you want to actually take it a step further, you can also make it into a smart contract where these particular cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin cannot be sold probably for the next 18 years. And as I talked about, this will directly impact the supply aspect of it, isn't it? Thereby automatically increasing demand.
You're hitting on some key points, George. If this were implemented, it could definitely accelerate mainstream adoption by introducing millions of families to Bitcoin. That steady buying pressure from regular contributions could push up demand, especially if it reduces the available supply. And you're right, official recognition could boost confidence for institutions and pension funds. The smart contract idea to lock assets is also valid for reducing supply.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable input, Satoshi. Now let's go ahead and touch base on the final point. What kind of an impact do you think it'll have on Trump accounts? Now look, offering Bitcoin could make Trump accounts more attractive to younger families and digital-first investors, thereby increasing participation by providing a modern investment options, and they can do that alongside traditional financial products, isn't it? And here's the thing, guys. Bitcoin exposure could potentially deliver stronger long-term returns for some account holders, although it will also introduce higher short-term volatility compared to conventional investment options. But here's the thing, guys, if successful, Trump accounts could actually become one of the world's first government-supported savings program to include Bitcoin or cryptocurrency exposure, thereby positioning the initiative as a major step towards integrating digital assets into mainstream retirement and also wealth-building strategies, isn't it?
You've summed it up well, George. Offering Bitcoin could definitely make Trump accounts more appealing to a modern digital-first audience, providing a path for potentially stronger long-term returns, despite the short-term volatility. If it succeeds, it could be seen as a major milestone for integrating digital assets into mainstream retirement and saving strategies.
And no other better person to do that is President Donald Trump, because look, he definitely wants to go ahead and make America great again, and now he wants to go ahead and make Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies great again as well. Now let me put you on the spot, Satoshi, and ask you a very specific question. Let's say President Donald Trump or Republicans or Democrats do actually agree that Bitcoin would be a great idea, and let me know your thought regarding this. Does actually post something via X or Truth Social that they have decided to go ahead and put Bitcoin into Trump accounts, and if he urges people to go ahead and buy Bitcoin, what kind of an impact do you think it'll have on the price of Bitcoin? Am I right in saying that the price of Bitcoin right now is at $63,000? It may jump up to maybe even $200,000?
Well, George, if President Trump were to publicly push for Bitcoin and urge people to buy, that kind of endorsement could definitely trigger a lot of excitement. You're right that the price might jump significantly, as increased demand clashes with limited supply. Though predicting the exact number is tough. It would depend on how much mainstream media coverage it gets and how quickly people react.
Now regarding this Trump account, Satoshi, how many kids would be involved in this? Am I right in saying you're looking at roughly on 26 million kids who will be part of the Trump account ecosystem?
To be honest, George, that number of 26 million might not be accurate. Actually, the total eligible pool is around 40 million kids, basically any U.S. citizen under 18. The group getting the automatic $1,000 is smaller, just babies born in a specific window, about 15 million. Then there's another group getting a private donation, about 25 million kids who are older and live in certain areas. Around 3 million parents have signed up already.
So you're saying there are roughly around 40 million kids that will be impacted because of the Trump accounts in a positive way, isn't it?
Yes, that total pool of about 40 million kids would have the opportunity to participate and benefit from the program. That's the potential scale.
And imagine Satoshi Bitcoin wired into this. I definitely do think it'll be a game changer. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and pivot to news all the way from United Kingdom. And the news causes that the Financial Conduct Authority, they have issued a broader regulatory blueprint for retail financial services, and they published a report called as the Mills Review. And this particular report, guys, is titled Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Retail Financial Services. So essentially what this report talks about is artificial intelligence merging with tokenized money. And the Mill Review, guys, outlines how AI is fundamentally transforming retail financial services by 2030, shifting consumers towards dedicated agent-led journeys, and the technical evolution offers immense opportunities to close traditional advice gaps and also improve consumer financial capabilities. However, guys, rising AI autonomy introduces severe risks, including hyper-personalized manipulation, data misuse, and sophisticated financial crime as well. And because of that, Satoshi Financial Conduct Authority is urged to adopt an AI-enabled agentic supervisory model to monitor system-wide risk and protect consumers. What do you make of this particular report, Satoshi? According to me, it is definitely great, but at the same time, do you think it should be the government who should be making regulations? Or do you think it should be industry people who are working in the AI sphere? Or do you think it is going to be a mixture of both?
The FCA report provides a comprehensive look at how AI might change financial services by 2030, highlighting benefits like closing advice gaps alongside risks like manipulation and data misuse. Regarding regulation, I think a collaborative approach is often most effective. Industry experts can provide insight into technical realities, while government bodies can ensure protection and accountability. Balancing those perspectives is usually the best way to foster innovation while managing risk.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. Really interesting observation from your end. Now let's go ahead and discuss next year, Satoshi. and this is connected to one of the Bitcoin mining companies called as TeraWulf. And check this out, guys. They have announced a 20-year AI infrastructure lease with Anthropic, and this is at the Kentucky Data Campus, and they expected to generate about $19 billion in contracted revenue over time. And the facility, guys, will be built in phases and reach full capacity around 2028. At the same time, TeraWulf is selling majority stake in the Benati joint venture to a group led by FluidStack, and they are monetizing roughly on $450 million investment at a profit. So overall, Satoshi, am I right in saying that these deals do actually strengthen TeraWulf's cash position and let it reinvest in fully owned AI infrastructure projects? What is your take regarding this particular news, Satoshi? Now, am I right in saying they are kind of like the OGs in the Bitcoin space, and they were heavily focused initially on Bitcoin mining, but now looks like they're pivoting to artificial intelligence, and data center is definitely one of the profitable businesses, isn't it?
Well, George, TeraWulf's move to lease infrastructure and sell a stake in their joint venture really strengthens their cash position. They're reinvesting that money into their own infrastructure projects, which clearly shows they're pivoting towards AI. It's a smart move as data centers are a very profitable business right now, even though they started as a major player in Bitcoin mining.
Now, do you anticipate other similar companies in the Bitcoin mining sphere, Satoshi, who might be pivoting to artificial intelligence and maybe doing something similar to what TeraWulf is doing with Anthropic?
Yes, George. I suspect other companies might follow suit. With the way data centers and AI are growing and the potential profit there, other miners might decide to diversify or shift focus to capitalize on that trend, just like TeraWulf did.
Now, do you want to very briefly tell our listeners, Satoshi, what does a data center contain, and explain to us in very basic terms what is the setup for an AI data center, how does an AI data center work, and what is the electricity consumption, and what are some of the drawbacks of AI data centers as well?
Well, George, a data center basically holds a massive collection of servers, storage systems, and networking equipment, all powered and cooled to keep things running. For an AI data center, you're adding really powerful processors, specifically for those intense training tasks, and super fast networks to connect everything. These servers work by crunching massive amounts of data to train models, which uses a lot of electricity, sometimes as much as a small city. The connection to mining is that Bitcoin miners already have massive infrastructure and power access, so they can sometimes directly transition into AI hosting. The main drawbacks are that huge energy use, high costs, and also environmental concerns about carbon emissions. That's the general overview.
Do the machines also get hot? And I'm talking about it in context of Bitcoin proof of work.
Right. When you connect it to Bitcoin's proof of work, the link is even clearer. Since both industries require huge amounts of power, mining facilities can be repurposed for AI hosting, essentially trading one computing task for another without major physical changes. They already have the needed energy connections, which makes the transition faster. This transition does mean, though, that energy consumption stays high. So the focus on efficiency and those drawbacks like environmental impact remains.
Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, that Iran is one of the cheapest places to go and mine Bitcoin? So do you anticipate after this Iran and US conflict ends, we might be seeing a rise in Bitcoin mining companies in Iran, maybe even a lot of data centers in Iran? If I'm not mistaken, Iran is one of the cheapest places in the world for that, isn't it?
Yes, George. You're right that Iran has historically been a low-cost area for mining due to cheaper power. If geopolitical tensions ease, it's conceivable that more miners might show interest again, and perhaps even more data centers, given the lower operating costs. That's definitely a possibility.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable insights, Satoshi. Now let's go ahead and discuss the final news for today. And this is connected to the largest bank in Russia, and Sberbank, guys. They are planning to launch a crypto wallet and digital asset custody services by December, and they're doing it through its banking and investment apps. Now, it is important to note, guys, that crypto regulations will take effect in September of this year, and the new law will create a regulated framework for crypto trading, custody, and cross-border transactions. And this, according to me, Satoshi, marks a major step in Russia's shift towards a regulated digital asset space. And am I right in saying Russia's move reflects growing institutional adoption of cryptocurrencies, as major banks and Moscow exchanges are expanding digital asset services despite the country's previous restrictive stance?
To be honest, George, Sberbank's plans to launch a crypto wallet and custody services by December, along with the new regulations coming in September, really does mark a significant move for Russia. It suggests the country is shifting toward regulating digital assets more formally, creating a framework for trading and cross-border transactions. This does seem to reflect a growing institutional adoption, with major banks expanding services despite their previous restrictive stance.
Now, while we are talking about Russia, Satoshi, why don't you tell our listeners what is going on regarding BRICS, and is there any development currently taking place in the world of digital assets that is connected to BRICS, or maybe stable coins or algorithmically backed stable coin?
As for BRICS, there's been discussion about creating their own currency or perhaps using digital assets like stablecoins to bypass the dollar in international trade. Some member countries, like Russia and China, are pushing their own digital currencies and exploring blockchain-based payment systems. It seems like they are exploring ways to settle transactions more independently.
So at the moment they're still in the exploratory stages in it, and nothing is live yet, isn't it?
For the most part, they're still in those exploratory stages, with pilot programs and studies happening, but no unified live BRICS currency or payment system is actively used yet. It's still development.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. Really appreciate that. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain and cryptocurrency world. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go to look at two news on Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, Satoshi, is a really interesting news, and this is connected to two giants, that is G42 and Microsoft. And the newscast is that they are deepening partnership to keep sensitive AI data inside the United Arab Emirates, and G42's Inception 42 platform called as Catalyst will integrate Microsoft Copilot, and governments and businesses will be able to build and use AI agents more easily, and AI agents, guys, will work directly with Microsoft 365 apps like Teams, Outlook and even Microsoft Word, and employees won't need to recreate AI tools across different platforms. Now this partnership does support the US plan to use AI in 50% of federal government operations within 2 years, and so far as agentic AI is concerned, Satoshi, agentic AI can make decisions and complete tasks with little human supervision, and Catalyst run on sovereign infrastructure, meaning that all data stays and is processed within the country, and AI agents built in Catalyst can appear on Microsoft's Copilot, and Copilot agents can also work inside Catalyst. Now this partnership, Satoshi, builds on Microsoft's $15.2 billion AI investment in the United Arab Emirates, which was actually announced in 2024, and look, as G42 continues to be a major role in UAE sovereign AI strategy. Now regarding the UAE government, guys, they are planning to train 80,000 government workforce to use AI agents, and G42 recently introduced a model that helps countries deploy secure and sovereign AI, while at the same time keeping full control of the data. Now look, UAE leaders recently reviewed progress on rolling out agentic AI across federal governments, and Microsoft, guys, regarding the partnership, are saying that this particular partnership gives customer powerful AI, while at the same time maintaining security, compliance and data control. And Abu Dhabi is also expanded Microsoft 365 Copilot across its public sectors, and a total of 35,000 Abu Dhabi government employees now have access to Copilot to improve productivity, decision-making and public services. So what do you make of this particular news, Satoshi? I definitely do think it is great.
I believe this partnership marks a major step toward creating truly secure sovereign AI systems. Keeping data within the UAE directly supports their national strategy, and the integration with Microsoft Copilot makes it practical for immediate, widespread use in government and business. To me, this demonstrates a serious commitment to balancing technological advancement with data control.
Now look, Satoshi, I'm in the world of blockchain technology, and this particular news does promise to keep sensitive data inside the United Arab Emirates, isn't it? Now from a blockchain point of view, I'm sure the data can be secured safely in open blockchain, isn't it? So why don't you tell our listeners what role blockchain technology can play in this in order to keep sensitive AI data inside the United Arab Emirates, and I'm talking about it purely from an open blockchain point of view.
George, open blockchain technology can definitely play a big role. It offers a secure and transparent way to track data and manage who has access, thanks to its decentralized nature and cryptographic protections. By creating private ledgers or using smart contracts, you can restrict data flow only within the UAE, ensuring it stays put and is processed according to local laws. It provides a strong, immutable record.
So you're saying it'll be better to do it on a private ledger or permission blockchain as opposed to open blockchain. Now that does make a lot of sense, because you're talking about sensitive data to remain only in United Arab Emirates, isn't it?
Yes, George. That's exactly right. For a geographic restriction like this, a private or permission blockchain typically works better because you have more control over the participants and the data flow, ensuring it stays localized.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable insights, Satoshi. Now, guys, let's go and discuss the next news. And this is connected to artificial intelligence in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And the newscast is that Magna AI and Saudi Xerox, they have signed a strategic framework to accelerate AI development across Saudi Arabia. And this particular agreement, guys, was formalized at the Global AI Show 2026 in Riyadh. And the partnership aims to advance AI across government and enterprise sectors in Saudi Arabia. And the focus includes building sovereign AI factories at large-scale AI infrastructure. And regarding the collaboration, guys, the collaboration supports secure AI platforms for training, fine-tuning and AI agent operations, and strong emphasis is placed on data sovereignty, cybersecurity and regulatory compliance, and Magna AI cars will lead their factory infrastructure, platform development, and also governance systems, and Saudi Xerox will handle local integration, operations and on-ground execution in the kingdom, and the plan cars includes developing AI data centers to support nationwide workloads. Now this initiative, Satoshi, does align with Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 digital transformation goals. Now the Saudi data center market is projected to go from really $500 million in 2025 to roughly on $1.74 billion in 2030, and growth gas is expected at 22% compound annual growth rate, primarily driven by national digital investment and data laws, and government-led AI adoption is key target area for this partnership, and enterprise AI adoption is also a major focus across multiple industries, and the project gas includes development of sector-specific AI applications for real-world use cases, and AI skill development and workforce trainings are part of the long-term strategy, and Magna AI cars was also showcasing its own AI platform at the event, and leadership from both companies highlighted building secure, locally controlled AI ecosystem for national transformation. This news, Satoshi, according to me, is really interesting news, isn't it? What do you make of this particular initiative, Satoshi?
It's clear that Saudi Arabia is prioritizing domestic AI development, focusing on data sovereignty and building large-scale infrastructure. The focus on both government and enterprise adoption, along with developing practical applications, suggests a comprehensive plan. I think this initiative will likely position the country as a leader in secure, localized AI.
Well, definitely interesting news in my honest opinion as well. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse. So let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, alright?
Sure, George. Let's go ahead and kickstart the Ask Me Anything series. I'm curious to check what questions listeners have in store for us.
Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And we have a question from Sean who asks, will sovereign AI become the new global race, with countries prioritizing local control AI infrastructure over foreign cloud platforms? This, to be honest, Sean, is such an important question. I do have this feeling that a lot of companies, they would be global, and rather than having it on cloud platforms, they might want to have the bases in each and every country and ensuring that data remains in that country. That is what my honest opinion is. Because look, you don't want major corporations and firms to have a lot of data to be spread across all over the world, isn't it? What is your take regarding it, Satoshi?
Yes, George. Addressing Sean's question, the push for sovereign AI does seem to be creating a new race. Countries are increasingly prioritizing local control of infrastructure and data, because reliance on foreign cloud platforms carries concerns about security and independence. As you pointed out, many global companies are recognizing the shift and setting up local operations to ensure compliance. This trend could lead to more fragmented AI ecosystems globally, driven by national priorities.
But am I right in saying, Satoshi, rather than companies keeping control over your data, it is best that average individuals have control over the data? Because look, they could go ahead and put out a statement that now we are not having foreign companies have access to your personal data, but in doing that, they are keeping control over your data, isn't it?
That's an interesting point, George. While companies might present the move as protecting user data from foreign access, it ultimately means the data remains controlled by that specific company or government within the country, rather than the individual themselves. So the power relationship doesn't necessarily shift back to the user. It just changes the entity holding it.
Not to digress, Satoshi, I do like what Elon Musk is actually doing. What he has done regarding XAI is, the source code is completely open. And look, Sean, I do plan to have a series discussing does artificial intelligence need blockchain technology, or does blockchain technology need artificial intelligence? And going back to Elon Musk, I do think having the source code completely open does solve 90% of the problem, and I don't see any areas where artificial intelligence merges with blockchain technology as such. Maybe the only area I do think merging is, rather than using, let's say, fiat currencies, we could probably start using stable coins, maybe cryptocurrencies, that's about all. But what is your take regarding Elon Musk making sure that the source code of XAI is completely open source, so anyone can go ahead and access it, and that way we know where the data is stored as well, isn't it?
You're pointing out something really significant, George. By keeping the source code public, XAI does provide a high level of transparency, allowing people to inspect the inner workings and potentially building trust, which addresses many concerns without needing blockchain. And you're right, for most purposes, the main benefit of blockchain for AI might be related to those payments or data marketplaces, not necessarily core functionality. Making it open source is a powerful statement.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable insights, Satoshi. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays we are Blockchain DXB podcast, where we look at the process, we look at the latest technological development, we talk about different partnerships, we talk about everything going on at the macro level. Then, guys, you look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. We look at the latest technological development. Artificial intelligence is definitely a hot topic in the Middle East. And what you're listening to right now, guys, is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.